One morning, a little girl named Lily woke up and noticed something strange. Her mother, who was always warm and comforting, was lying so still and quiet in bed. Lily thought it was because her mother was sick, and she remembered her mother saying, "Sometimes, people feel cold when they have a fever." Lily's mother, Sarah, had been sick for a long time, coughing and losing her strength each day. But Lily didn't understand what was really happening. All she knew was that her mother was very tired and needed to rest. Lily decided she would be her mother's helper. She would fetch water, clean the dishes, and do her best to keep the little room tidy. Lily was proud of how she took care of her mom, even though her mom's eyes were closed for longer and longer stretches. 3 days went by, and her mother hadn't moved or said a word. Lily tried speaking to her mother, gently shaking her shoulder, whispering, "Mama, do you want some water?" But there was no answer, just the silence of the room. Lily felt a sadness she couldn't understand, but she didn't know why. Her mother's face looked so peaceful, like she was simply dreaming, so Lily thought maybe her mother was having a long sleep to feel better. But on the 3rd day, Lily noticed something she couldn't ignore. The smell in the house was different, strong and strange, like the smell of something spoiled. She started to worry. She knew her mother was sick, but she thought it was just a fever. Lily remembered a small pharmacy nearby that her mother used to visit. She pulled on her old slippers, put a scarf around her neck, and walked alone to the store. When she got there, she asked the shopkeeper, "Please, sir, my mother is very cold and has a fever. Can I have medicine for her?" The shopkeeper looked at her kindly and asked, "Where is your mother now?" Lily looked down and said, "She's home, but she's sleeping." The shopkeeper gave her some medicine and told her to give it to her mother when she got home. But as Lily left, he wondered why such a small girl was out by herself, looking so worried. When Lily returned, she tried to give the medicine to her mother, but her mother still didn't wake up. Lily became confused and scared. She thought, "Mama is just very, very tired. When she wakes up, she'll feel better," but a part of her started to doubt it. She didn't know what else to do. She climbed into bed beside her mother, curled up close, and whispered, "Mama, please wake up. I'm right here with you." Meanwhile, the neighbors started noticing the smell. It was something unusual, coming from Lily's house. One of them, Auntie Mary, knocked on the door, calling out, "Sarah! Lily! Is anyone home?" But there was no answer. Mary grew concerned and called Lily's father, Ben. Ben had left Lily and her mother years ago to live with his new wife in another village, and he rarely visited. But when he heard that something might be wrong with Sarah and Lily, he decided to come. When Ben arrived, he pushed open the door and saw his daughter sitting on the bed, holding her mother's hand, her face streaked with tears. "Lily, what's going on?" he asked softly, his heart feeling a strange mix of fear and guilt. Lily looked up, her eyes wide and hopeful. "Daddy, Mama is cold. I think she's sick, but she won't take the medicine." Ben's face changed as he moved closer and looked at Sarah. His heart sank, realizing what had happened. He gently pulled Lily into his arms, whispering, "Lily, Mama is gone." But Lily shook her head, refusing to believe it. She held her father's hand tightly and cried, "No, Daddy. She's just cold, that's all. She'll wake up soon, I know she will." But her father knew the truth. And soon, Lily began to understand, too. Her heart broke, but she clung to her father, the only person left who could take care of her. He took her home with him, to the house he shared with his new wife, Anna. When they arrived, Lily was quiet, her heart heavy with the weight of losing her mother. She tried to adjust to her new life, but things were hard. Anna, her stepmother, was not kind. She didn't smile at Lily or make her feel welcome. She saw Lily as a reminder of her husband's past, and it bothered her. She gave Lily chores and scolded her over small mistakes, sometimes even taking her food away if she was displeased. But Lily stayed strong, thinking of her mother and holding on to the memories of her kindness. She tried to be good and patient, hoping her father would notice and protect her. However, Ben often seemed distracted, lost in his own thoughts, and didn't see how his wife treated Lily when he wasn't around. One day, she grew. She began to realize that her strength didn't come from being loud or fighting back. It came from holding on to the love her mother had given her, carrying it inside her heart even when times were hard. She began to form a quiet plan, one she knew would lead her to a better future. Lily stayed with her father and stepmother, but the house never felt like home. Anna seemed determined to make her feel unwelcome. She would scold Lily for little things, like leaving a book on the table or forgetting to shut a door, and sometimes she'd even make Lily do extra chores as punishment. But Lily kept quiet, thinking about her mother's kind words and finding comfort in her memories. One rainy afternoon, while Anna was out visiting a friend, Ben sat in the living room reading the newspaper. Lily saw this as a rare chance to talk to her father alone. She hesitated at first but then gathered her courage and went over to him. "Daddy," she whispered softly. He looked up, surprised, and put down the newspaper. "Yes, Lily." She fidgeted with the hem of her dress, her eyes downcast. "Do you miss Mama?" Ben's face softened, and a shadow of sadness crossed his eyes. "Yes, Lily, I do." He reached out and patted her shoulder, but it felt distant, like he wasn't truly there. She wanted to ask him to spend more time with her, to protect her from Anna's harsh words, but the words caught in her throat. She was afraid he wouldn't understand, so she just nodded and went back to her room. As the days went by, Anna's attitude grew colder. One night, she told Lily to sleep on a thin mat on the floor, saying that she needed the bed in the guest room for her sister, who was coming to stay. Lily wanted to protest, but she didn't. She curled up on the mat, her mind drifting to memories of her mother's warm embrace and soft lullabies. The next morning, as Lily scrubbed the floor, Anna's sister, Clara, arrived. Clara was younger, with a bright smile and a soft voice. She noticed Lily working and asked, "Isn't she a bit young to be doing all this work alone?" Anna waved her off with a dismissive hand. "Lily's just fine. She needs to learn responsibility." Clara gave Anna a look but didn't say more. Over the next few days, Clara watched how Anna treated Lily, noticing the harsh words and cold glances. Clara's heart ached for the little girl who seemed so quiet and alone. One evening, she pulled Lily aside and asked, "Are you okay, sweetheart?" Lily looked at her, surprised and unsure of what to say. No one had asked her that since her mother passed away. She managed a small nod, but her eyes were full of questions she couldn't put into words. Clara gently patted her shoulder. "If you ever need anything, you can tell me, okay?" Lily nodded, feeling a little spark of hope. Clara's kindness reminded her of her mother's gentle ways, and she felt safe around her. Days turned into weeks, and Lily started spending more time with Clara whenever Anna wasn't watching. Clara would teach her small things, like how to sew, or tell her stories from when she was little. For the first time in a long time, Lily felt a bit of warmth in the house. One evening, Clara sat with Ben in the living room after Anna had gone to bed. She took a deep breath and spoke up, "Ben, I've noticed how Anna treats Lily, and it worries me. She's just a child. She's lost her mother and needs love, not harsh words." Ben looked down, uncomfortable. He knew, deep down, that he hadn't been the father Lily needed. But he was unsure how to fix things. "Anna, she has her ways. But she takes care of Lily. She's just strict, that's all." Clara sighed, trying to stay patient. "Ben, she doesn't need someone to be strict with her. She needs someone to care for her, to let her know she's safe." Ben didn't respond right away, but Clara's words lingered in his mind. He realized that he had been so wrapped up in his own life and regrets that he hadn't truly been there for his daughter. For the first time, he understood how lonely she must feel. The next morning, Ben decided to spend some time with Lily. He took her to the market, holding her hand as they walked through the busy stalls. Lily looked up at him, surprised and happy, her eyes shining with the hope that maybe, just maybe, things could get better. But when they returned, Anna was furious. She scolded Ben for spoiling Lily, saying that the girl didn't deserve special treatment. Ben felt a surge of anger he hadn't felt before. "Anna, she's my daughter. She's a child, and she needs her father." Anna huffed, glaring at Lily with cold eyes. But this time, Lily felt a small victory inside. For the first time, her father had stood up for her, and it gave her strength she didn't know she had. That night, as she lay on her mat, Lily felt a new warmth filling her heart. She was still sad, still missing her mother, but now she felt like maybe things could be different. She whispered to herself, "I'll be strong, Mama. I promise." Over the next weeks, Lily held onto her father's small gestures of kindness, little by little finding courage within herself. And though Anna's anger simmered in the background, Lily knew she wasn't alone anymore. She had her father, and she had the memory of her mother's love, both lighting a path forward through even the darkest days. Lily continued to hold on to the moments with her father, each one a glimmer of hope that gave her strength to face Anna's harshness. But Anna, noticing this growing bond between Ben and Lily, grew increasingly resentful. She didn't like how Ben was spending more time with his daughter, and she was determined to make Lily's life even harder. One evening, while Ben was away on business, Anna assigned Lily extra chores. She made her scrub the floors, clean the windows, and polish the furniture, all without rest. Lily's hands became sore, and her back ached, but she pushed through, remembering her promise to be strong. When she was finally done, Anna looked her over with a cold smile. "You missed a spot on the floor," she said, pointing to a tiny speck of dirt by the corner. "Do it again." Lily's eyes filled with tears, but she held them back. She didn't want Anna to see her cry. She quietly picked up the cloth and started scrubbing again. In her heart, she reminded herself of her mother's comforting words. "You're stronger than you know, Lily." Just then, the door creaked open, and Clara entered, her eyes narrowing as she took in the scene. "Anna, what's going on here?" she asked, her voice sharp with disapproval. Anna shrugged, feigning innocence. "Lily just needs to learn how to do things properly." Clara walked over to Lily, gently taking the cloth from her tired hands. "That's enough, Lily. You've done more than enough today." She turned to Anna, her gaze unwavering. "She's just a child, Anna. This is not how you treat family." Anna glared back, but Clara stood her ground. She knelt down beside Lily and said softly, "Come, Lily. Let's get you something to eat and rest." Lily felt a wave of relief and gratitude wash over her. She followed Clara to the kitchen, where Clara prepared a simple meal. As they sat together, Clara told her stories about her own childhood, filling the room with laughter and warmth. Lily listened, her heart feeling lighter than it had in a long time. When Ben returned later that night, Clara spoke with him privately, her concern for Lily evident in her voice. "Ben, this can't go on. You need to make a choice. Either protect Lily from Anna's treatment, or you'll lose her love and trust forever." Ben knew Clara was right. He had been trying to keep peace in the household by staying silent, but he realized that his silence was only allowing the harm to continue. He looked over at Lily, who was fast asleep on the couch, and felt a surge of determination. He couldn't let his daughter suffer anymore. The next morning, Ben confronted Anna, his voice firm. "Anna, I can't let you treat Lily this way. She deserves to feel safe and loved, not like an unwelcome guest in her own home." Anna was furious, but Ben didn't back down. For the first time, he stood up to her fully, defending Lily with a conviction he hadn't shown before. He made it clear that things had to change. If Anna couldn't accept that, he would find a new place for Lily and himself, where she would be loved and protected. Anna's face twisted with anger, but she saw the seriousness in Ben's eyes. She knew he meant every word. Over the next few days, Ben spent more time with Lily, teaching her things her mother would have taught her: how to read better, how to plant seeds in the garden, and even small cooking tips. Lily blossomed under his attention, her laughter returning little by little, and the sadness in her eyes beginning to fade. Clara continued to visit often, bringing small gifts for Lily and sharing stories that filled the house with laughter. She became like an aunt to Lily, a source of love and support in a place that had once felt so lonely. One day, as Lily and her father were planting a small garden together, she looked up at him and asked, "Daddy, will things be okay now?" Ben smiled, his heart swelling with pride and love for his daughter. "Yes, Lily. I promise, things will be okay now. We'll make sure of it together." With a newfound hope and strength, Lily began to feel like life was hers to live again. She held on to her father's promise and continued to carry her mother's love in her heart, a constant light guiding her through each day. And as the days turned into weeks, Lily discovered that she was truly stronger than she had ever known.